Wow. I appreciate that. So now that makes a little more sense if we do anxiety. So we have fear, we do things to lessen that fear. And essentially, would you say how much of it comes down to a want to go back to comfort or homeostasis? How much of this output we call mental illness is the inability to want to deal with uncomfortable thoughts and emotions?
Yeah, you're getting into a really controversial topic that I'd be glad to talk about, but it's the
Let's go.
difference between ability and willingness. They're not the same. Everyone has the ability to be willing. We all have that ability to be willing to do something.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, are we willing to do it? Right?
Got it.
Simple example. Someone who smokes cigarettes knows how to stop smoking. They have the ability to stop smoking, right? What
Mm-hmm.
does it take to stop smoking? Don't buy cigarettes.
Okay,
Don't buy.
wait. I'm going to cut you off. Here's why. I don't. I might edit this out of the interview, but this
Okay.
was the subject I really wanted to. If anything, I really wanted to talk about. It's probably the one thing from one of the primary things from your and I, our additional conversations that has stuck with me to this day. Where I'll say, "Well, I don't want it because I'm not doing it, and if I really wanted it, I would do it." So, anyways, I just wanted to stop because I'm so glad we're going here. Continue.
Okay. All right. Well, think about this. If you're in pain, who doesn't want the pain to go away, to find
Right.
comfort, right? So if you're any kind of pain, emotional pain, physical pain, it's only natural that we want to, we try to get away from the pain. If you put your hand on a hot stove, you don't think, wow, my hand's on a hot stove and it is burning. I think I'll pick it up. You don't do that. You just automatically recoil from that. Same thing happens with emotional pain. It's a naturally uncomfortable feeling, so we want to be comforted. And so we try to get comfort by doing C, by doing something in an attempt to get comfort. Some things do provide comfort. So some of the C's are helpful. So if I'm sad, getting with a friend and talking about it does provide comfort. And there's not really any negative consequences of that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm sad and instead of getting with a friend, I go crawl in bed for days on end, I'm getting comfort, but it's an immediate sense of comfort that is fleeting. And it provides more pain to my life over time. I'm going to feel lethargic. I might feel guilty. I might lose a job. I might get, my wife might be upset with me. There's all kinds of things that come as consequences of staying in bed. In other words, doing depression
Mm.
that just feed back into my desire to stay in bed even more. So yeah, I think it is a search for comfort, but I think that's just a natural thing. All organisms want comfort. Whether it's, humans are interesting because some of our comfort doesn't look comfortable because we're so individualized and it's the meaning of what we do. So I might sacrifice something for my children. That provides me comfort, even though it's a sacrifice. That sounds paradoxical.
Mm.
People do a lot of things that are painful for comfort. So we're not just dogs. Dogs, if you hurt a dog, they feel pain, they try to get away from it. They
Right.
don't think, well, I think I'll let myself be hurt here for the benefit of my master, that kind of thing. But we do that. We decide to do painful things and feel comfort in it because of it's helping, say, our children, or it's helping the world. That's what philanthropy is all about. Giving money
Right.
away looks painful to people who don't have it, especially, but
Right.
it actually provides comfort, knowing that you're helping.